Hey there, Gacha Gang, Kawaii 5 back with another FGO Servant Breakdown. And today we are going to be talking about one of the most hotly anticipated characters arriving to the game in 2021. And that is Kama. No, show me the real Kama. I said the real Kama. Perfection. Now we're going to be going over Kama's craft essences, stats, command codes, the best allies, the whole 9 yards. So hopefully this video is able to help you out when it comes to making this assassin the absolute best that she can be. Kama sports a quick arts buster deck and a quick type noble phantasm. Now, the quick type noble phantasm, it is a single enemy NP, so don't be expecting Kama to fall into the quick farming loop just yet. But don't click away from this video, because in a lot of ways she is very impressive. Max HP is 12,889, which is solid, but with a max attack of 11,528, that seems a little on the high end, especially for an assassin class servant. I'm sure a lot of people hold Gramps at the pinnacle, but Kama, with some of the shenanigans she's going to be able to pull, she's gonna be comparable. Other notable stats include her NP per hit at a 0.74%. You might be getting a bit of solid NP off of those quick cards. Star absorption is pretty average for an assassin, but that's going to come into play in just a little bit when we talk about craft essences. It's rare I mention class skills, but Kama's class skills are actually pretty significant, and what really ends up going into making her such a powerful servant. To start with, she has Magic Resistance A, your pretty standard debuff resist. She also has Riding A, which is strange on an assassin, but it makes sense considering the lore. You'll understand after you play Oku Labyrinth why she has that. But that increases her overall quick card effectiveness by 10%. Independent Manifestation rank C grants her crit strength, mental debuff resist, which includes Charm, and Charm's going to be very important, and Death resist, and Essence of the God of Love rank B, which gives her a flat damage increase on all of her attacks and makes her completely immune to the Charm debuff. All of these pooled together ends up making Kama a pretty formidable opponent that isn't really going to be affected by any mental debuffs, especially Charm. Kama's first skill is Blessings of the Goddess rank B. This has the permanent demerit of decreasing the max HP of one ally by 1,000, but the benefits honestly outweigh the cost. This increases the NP overcharge level of one ally by 1 level. It lasts for 3 turns and it will affect once, so you don't need to use their Noble Phantasm right away. It also restores Kama's own HP by 2,000 to 4,000. I generally recommend maxing this skill last, mainly because the main thing affected by leveling this skill up is the heal. The most important part of this skill, the NP overcharge boost, isn't really affected much at all. The cooldown is really the main thing you're looking for when it comes to that, so you are safe to level this last. You don't really need that 5-turn cooldown right out of the gate. Kama's second skill is Anangaranga rank EX. This gives her 1 instance of Guts and increases her attack by 20 to 30% for 3 turns. Now, there is something very important about this skill, and as I was drumming through a couple of different wikis and stuff like that, this is not a typo. That's just 1 instance of Guts. It doesn't have a timer on it. It just exists until it is used up. So that is a very potent survivability tool Kama has in her kit. Also, the attack boost is nothing to sneeze at either. That's a 20 to 30% boost for Kama. I would overall recommend maxing this skill second, mainly to gain the benefit of the attack boost, but having a guaranteed Guts every 6 turns, well, that is going to be very helpful as well. Kama's final skill is Mara Papayas rank EX. This grants her a 30 to 50% NP steroid, increases her critical strength by 20% for 3 turns, decreases the charm resist of all enemies by 20 to 40% for 1 turn, and charm is a part of Noble Phantasm, so remember that. And the unique effect of this Noble Phantasm is it grants her class affinity against alter egos for 3 turns. So she deals extra damage to alter egos, and she takes less damage from alter egos as well. This gives Kama a surprisingly formidable amount of utility. Yes, I almost said Tama. I'm just excited, gang. A character being able to manipulate the class advantage table, that is a very powerful skill, and that is a hallmark of some of the most powerful servants Fate Grand Order has to offer. So you really, really need to consider that and take that into account when you're looking at this skill. I definitely recommend leveling this skill first, mainly because it brings the NP steroid from 30 to 50%, and if you have a Skahawk Scotty, which is going to be Kama's primary support, well, you're going to be able to get her to 100% Noble Phantasm gauge turn 1, and you're not going to need dual Skahawk Scotties to do that. It's just a very, very important skill, and truly the backbone of Kama's kit. Kama's Noble Phantasm changes depending on which ascension she's in, and the effects don't change. Let's make that very, very clear. It's just the name of the Noble Phantasm and the overall animation that gets played. So I'm just going to describe it in the way for the Kama that we see right here on the screen. Samsara Kama rank C is her Noble Phantasm. It deals 1200 to 2000% damage to a single enemy and has an 80% chance to charm that enemy for 1 turn. The overcharge effect is that it increases Kama's quick card effectiveness for 3 turns. This is a 20 to 40% increase, and it activates before damage is dealt. Truly, my friends, truly, this Noble Phantasm is everything a single target quick type servant could want. That quick card effectiveness boost is going to grant more critical stars to push into overflow, so all your team will likely always get the stars that they need. It also activates before damage is dealt. Kama has the potential to quick Brave Chain, increasing the effectiveness of all of her follow-up attacks after the Noble Phantasm. There's just so much to love about this Noble Phantasm, gang. I would recommend, if you are one of those people who's like, I've saved up my St. Quartz for months and months and months, I've got to go for Kama. All my SQ is for Kama. I don't care about anybody else. If you're one of those people, try to at least go for NP2, because that 400% damage increase is very significant. It starts to really taper off around NP3. I would say NP3 is the ultra sweet spot, but an NP2 Kama is gonna be putting in work. When it came to Kama's craft essences, I tried to overall focus on quick card effectiveness as well as NP damage. Critical strength as well as starting NP gauge can also be very important for Kama as well. You're going to want to use her Noble Phantasm often, and her quick cards are always going to be her primary source of damage. So boosting that up in whatever way possible is going to make her far more effective. Let's start with Kama's freebie option, Paradox Ace Killer, which showed up in the Prisma Codes rerun event. This grants her quick card performance as well as NP damage. Those 2 primary stats we were talking about. So if you don't have any of the big hitting craft essences to put on Kama, this will do a fine job. I do want to give mention to Princess's Pilgrimage, which is in the same gacha as Kama during the Tokugawa Kaiten Labyrinth Oku event. Yes, I know that was a mouthful. So if you manage to pull this in your quest for Kama, you've actually got a pretty good starting kit for her. This craft essence grants quick card effectiveness, critical strength, and a starting NP gauge steroid of 40 to 50%. It makes sense that the craft essence featuring Kama would be effective for Kama. That is definitely the case with Chocolate Heaven. Chocolate Heaven will grant her quick card effectiveness, NP strength, as well as an NP gain boost on top of that. So if you're dealing that overkill damage following up your attack with some quick cards, Kama will most likely be ready to use her Noble Phantasm again. This craft essence can be very, very helpful when fighting enemies with break bars. And finally, let's mention an oldie but goodie, Dumplings over Flowers. This is sort of a powered up version of Paradox Ace Killer. It grants quick card performance and NP damage, but it grants better than what Paradox Ace Killer grants at base. If you manage to max limit break this craft essence, then it is just completely better than Paradox Ace Killer, hands down. So be on the lookout for this one. You might need to dig it out of your second archive if you've been playing for a long time. I know mine's hiding out there. So when selecting allies for Kama, we all know she falls into the Skahawk Scotty line. She wants that NP boost, she wants that quick boost, she wants that critical strength boost. So if you have multiple Skahawk Scotties, of course you're going to be running her with them. But not everybody has that option, and on top of that, some people like to play around with their teams a little bit. So I have pulled together a list of a few options. I've got actually 3 freebies on this list, as well as 3 servants you're going to have to get through the gacha. So let's take a peek. To start with, Ishtar Rider can be a good freebie pick for Kama, mainly because of her first skill, granting quick card, buster card effectiveness, as well as an NP gain boost, allowing Kama to get hits when she either breaks gauges or kills an enemy outright. I know some people might be worried that she is a Rider class servant and can eat stars, but with Kama's overall quick card supremacy, I promise you that more often than not, you are going to be finding yourself in a position where Kama has either almost enough or more than enough stars where she's going to be able to crit reliably. Summer Yume Ren can be another solid freebie pick for Kama. She's going to be dealing neutral damage if you're bringing Kama into a fight where Kama's the primary damage dealer, but Kama's the primary damage dealer, so it's fine to have a support. The main reason we want Yume Ren on that team is because of her third skill, which grants a 30 to 50% critical strength boost to all allies. Kama has the ability to increase her own critical strength, so another boost on top of that is going to make her deal even more damage with her regular cards. She can also grant Kama a slight NP steroid and pull some of the pressure off her if necessary. Again, I get another opportunity to mention Nightingale Santa, in my opinion probably the best Santa that's ever shown up on the game, just because of the sheer power she is able to grant all of her allies. She's a skill that grants an attack and critical strength boost to all allies, which Kama will like. She has the ability to grant an NP strength boost to Kama, as well as an additional guts, which that could be totally useful if Kama has spent her instance of guts. And on top of that, she has the ability to remove buffs from enemies, remove a debuff from all allies, and recover all of her allies' HP in the same skill as well. Nightingale's an archer, which is the main thing that brings her down in a lot of circles, but like I said with Ishtar Rider, Kama's gonna be generating enough stars. Wuzei Shan still remains a powerful 4-star option for quick teams, granting an attack boost as well as a quick card effectiveness boost to all allies. What's most important is the recent rank up, which we probably won't get on NA until 9 of 2022, but this rank up, in addition to the defense decrease that it provides against enemies, also has the potential to nullify a buff on an enemy, so you can block an invincibility or an evade, and it hits them with a little bit of burn. So she got a little bit better on JP. Osaka Hime is a great 5-star option I feel like a lot of people sleep on and they don't really realize her true potential. She's got the ability to increase Kama's crit star drop rate and NP gauge. Her great Hachi Tendo of Hakuro Castle Noble Phantasm got an absolutely insane upgrade, granting of course the quick and buster card effectiveness on all allies, which Kama mainly utilizes those cards, so it's the same situation as Ishtar Rider. And she does have another buff waiting on the horizon. It should be coming later this year, and this will grant her morph skill some massively improved utility. It will still have the defense increases, but it's also going to grant all of her allies a 30 to 50% crit damage boost, which Kama loves those crit damage boosts. And finally, I am sure every single JP faithful watching this video knew I was going to put Ashia Doman on this list. Kama can benefit from the complete slew of Ashia Doman's buffs because she is chaotic evil. This means that from Ashia Doman's Black Fate skill, Kama can get a 100% critical strength boost for 3 turns. And she can also get, from her Doman's Curse skill, a 20% boost to attack from being evil, and a 20% boost to attack from being chaotic, just like with Black Fate, so that's a 40% attack boost overall. Ashia Doman has massive potential for boosting your allies' damage if your allies are chaotic evil. Even if you just need to play the game like Kairon and swap him in, and have him at the start of the game, or swap him in real quick, use both of those buffs and then get him out of there, that's still a massive amount of short-term burst you are able to give Kama. When it comes to Kama's command codes, I sincerely believe that critical damage boost on her quick and her buster cards is going to be the way to go. That's going to be the best way to maximize your damage with this servant. And you're going to be able to put her arts card in a more utility role. For an example, you can give her arts card Blue Witch's Command Seal, which removes an attack up and a defense up buff from an enemy when attacking using an engraved card. It's a sort of situational command code, but with not much else that would really work to throw on Kama's arts card, this is honestly better than just no command code at all. When it comes to Kama's quick cards, I've got two pretty good heavy hitters, starting of course with Majin-san. Majin-san grants a 100% star absorption boost on the engraved card and increases the critical damage of the engraved card by 10%. Chuck this on her quick cards to make sure all of your stars are definitely flowing to that one. I'd also like to recommend for a quick card Pestle of the Glacias. This, of course, grants 10% critical damage, just like Majin-san, but it also ignores the enemy's defense when attacking using the engraved card. So if you have an enemy that loves stacking defense up buffs or just has naturally high defense, this is going to make sure at least one of your cards will tear right through them. And finally, of course, there's Heavenly Child of Karama. This is a very simple but very effective command code. Grants a boost to the card's critical damage by 20%. What more do you need? Gang, if you watched my Best Servants of 2021 video, you pretty much already knew the outcome of this video. But for those of you that didn't, let me just reiterate for you. Kama is a very, very powerful servant, and one of the most powerful assassins in the entire game. Her ability to grant herself an overcharge boost just overall increases the power of her Noble Phantasm. She has an excellent way to increase her own crit damage. She has a 50% NP steroid. She has complete immunity to a status debuff. And of course, she has that special ability to grant herself class affinity against a class that would normally punch her into the dirt. Oh, did I not mention the permanent guts? Yeah, let's mention the permanent guts tied with an attack boost as well. Kama is just an absolute monster. If you are lacking a single target assassin for your team, I cannot recommend enough that you roll for her. Even if you don't have a Skahawk Scotty, one of your friends has a Skahawk Scotty. Let's all be real here. You will be able to find somebody to buff up Kama and make her, in all likelihood, the most powerful assassin in your entire arsenal. If you're lacking an assassin, gang, Kama, she's a must roll. Absolutely. But of course, I always want to know what you all think, so go ahead and let me know your thoughts about Kama down in the comments section below. Any command codes, craft essences, allies, let me know how you are going to use Kama most effectively. And if you're watching this video after you've rolled for Kama, well, let me know so I can give you a hearty congratulations. If you guys enjoyed this video, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, maybe hop onto the Discord server to talk about some FGO or some other games. Maybe hit me up on the Patreon. As always, a thank you to all of the Patreons. I appreciate you guys so much. And finally, we did start the Twitch channel back up recently, so if you want to watch me summon Kama, which is definitely going to be a thing that happens, you're going to want to go ahead and follow me on Twitch, because that's where we'll be doing the poll live before we put the video up. This is Kawaii50, hoping you have a phenomenal day, and I'll see you all in the next one.